Welcome, everybody. It's your boy, the Versace Stoner, with another episode of VSW. Thank you, everybody. That's right, everybody. It's your boy, the Versace Stoner, with Disciple here. Tonight, we're talking about Beyond Wrestling's Project Reality,
with Denver, Colorado in the game, delivering a sold-out limited capacity show at the White Eagle, home of the Uncharted. They delivered again in their second show since the pandemic.
I mean, before we go through the match, I'm just going to say this was a 5-star event from top to bottom. Yes, Beyond is back, baby. It might be in limited capacity, but the next show, you know, they got the women's show, but then after that is getting more and more crowds.
Husband.
I would say, you know, by the end of the summer or even closer, we are going to see full shows. This is very exciting news, you know. Beyond is back.
Everyone you see on AEW or NXT, most of them got started in Beyond by...
You know, General Colorado, Drew, whatever you want to call him, has, you know, had some of the best talent in the world walk through there and still has some of the best talent wrestling for him right now. You know, let's jump into this card with the opening bout that just, you know, really kick-started off.
The Dirty Daddy, Chris Dickinson, versus the good toy owner, Teddy Goods.
You know, OGs in this game. Teddy Goods, you know, an OG. Tremendous dude, you know, great wrestler, great guy. Brings the fire. You know, this match told a story of two longtime friends, you know.
Who would have thought they were roommates, too?
You know, you wouldn't, but you got, you know, two of the greatest in the game. Chris Dickinson, another top star in the wrestling world, and, you know, he brings it every time with his attitude, his moves,
suplexes.
Whatever he does, he brings it, and this was just a great match to open this contest up. You know, a lot of respect for these two guys as they crushed it. And, you know, yes, Dirty Daddy might have taken the victory that night, but
he actually made Teddy Good submit.
He did. He made Teddy, you know, tap, but there was no respect lost between those two. You know, a very heartwarming message from Dickinson to Teddy afterwards. And, you know, basically saying, you know what, Teddy Goods, you're here. You made it to Beyond. Welcome.
And to lead the new young talent, too, I might add.
You know, so very excited to see, you know, this is the second time we've seen Teddy Goods here at Beyond, you know, since we've come back. And, you know, I've seen him in a few other shows. He is fighting, you know, Flying Brian Pillman Jr. there. And that's going to be a great match to look forward to. Always a pleasure to see Teddy Goods and Chris Dickinson. You know, if you go back and watch any of the Beyond shows that they did during the pandemic, you can see him and just, you know, he exploded.
Signature Series.
The Signature Series was amazing. The round robin, everything. Definitely, you know, kept us entertained throughout the pandemic.
Are you ready to move on, Versace?
I sure am.
So you got Edith Surreal versus the prize OG, Alec Price.
You know, I'm going to start by saying this. This was my second time seeing Edith Surreal. She is a phenomenal wrestling, and she's a phenomenal athlete. Some of the things she can do in the ring, you know, is just mind-blowing. But with that being said, I am a Prize City OG fan for life. Alec Price is my boy. I love everything about this kid. His, you know, his attitude, his theme song, his energy that he brings to the match.
How he jumps over the ropes.
You know, he's having a very good run here in Beyond right now.
And in Limitless too.
Oh, if you watch him on the road, he crushes it. You know, he just came off a big victory. You'll hear about that in our Limitless recap later on tonight. But yeah, you know, Alec Price top of the game right now, really making moves.
He was trying so hard the whole match to take off Edith Surreal's mask, but he failed to do so.
He did, and that's fine too, though, Like the Luchas say, once you take the mask off, you're shamed for life. So I'm kind of glad he didn't. But you know what? Eyes on the prize. This kid is going places. If you want to watch good wrestling, watch him. If you want to watch someone that's probably going to go to the next level sooner than later, watch him. If you want to be entertained, watch him. Watch Alec Price. Like I said, I can't say enough good things about this kid. He's come out to be one of my favorite wrestlers, since I started watching him on the different shows. And he's just, a tremendous athlete. And I also just love his promos. Like I said, that energy that he brings, and especially what he does in Beyond. And, even though he gets all the heat from the fans, he still brings it. He still brings that fire. It's great. I love it.
He's got the energy like a track player, too.
And he picked up the win over Edith Surreal. And I said, nothing against Edith Surreal. She is tremendous. But as he says it's his time right now. It's Alec Price's time.
So you're going to see him as soon as the world opens up. You may see him competing for top titles in other promotions and move up in the Beyond card too.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he's going to move up wherever he goes. This guy, there's no limits with this kid. There's no limits where he can go. Definitely someone to keep your eyes on if you like to watch, people that are going to go places.
Ready to move on?
I sure am.
So you got Robo, the Punjabi Lion, versus the one they call Manders.
This was an interesting matchup.
It was a great place in the card, too. They delivered a pretty good match for at least 10 minutes. It was the first time I've ever seen the Cowboy from Iowa.
I've never seen him wrestle, but I have to say I liked him. I'm an old fan of Cowboy Bob Orton and other, Cowboy wrestlers.
And you got Heyman Adam Page.
Adam Page, if you want to get into the new school stuff. But you had this guy, and he was, he came out, he was a big man, and he did his job. Robo, the Punjabi Lion, he's getting better and better every time I see him.
Oh, me too. He wrestled from, top rope all the way to Beyond.
He's doing great. He was at the first show as well that Beyond put on. And, now he's back again. He's really giving it, he has a lot of energy. I even seen him, in other promotions tagging with Nico Silva, the Lions, or something they're calling themselves. It's pretty cool to see. And like I said,
And Robo kicked out of many Oklahoma Stampedes moves by the one they call Manders.
Oh, he is so resilient. I mean, it takes a lot to take down the Punjabi Lion. You're not going to just beat him, with a single move. It's going to take a lot of wearing down. He has the heart of a lion, too, You can't take that away from him.
Absolutely. Robo has come a long way since the beginning. And I was very impressed with the one they called Manders with the moveset, how he was screaming at the fans. But Robo picked up the win after all the moves he kicked out of by Manders' southern set.
He did. Robo did kick out the win. But yes, I was also impressed with the one they call. And, I'm interested to see him wrestle some more. That was my first time as well seeing him wrestle. And I think he could go places, especially with a gimmick like that and his size and his, the way he is.
Absolutely. Are you ready to move on?
Sure am.
The Sea Stars, Ashley Fox and Delmi Exo versus Pretty Proper married couple with Lady Frost and Victor Benjamin, who is the Savage Gentleman for sure.
This was a very underrated match in my opinion, but one of my favorite. I'm a tag team wrestling lover. The Sea Stars, amazing New England tag team. Everything you want out of a tag team. They got the moves down set, their tags, everything. They work so good together. And they've done it for so long. But, Pretty Proper, you have Lady Frost, a tremendous, outstanding athlete. And, the Savage Gentleman,
they
no
make
different.
out in their matches. That is
But these people have been all over. They're not just, Beyond wrestlers. They've been to AEW. They've been to other promotions. Just the other night, Lady Frost was fighting Thunder Rosa, the day after. They're everywhere. And it was very great to see these two at Beyond.
Absolutely. And they use their making out and their hugging and everything that married couples do to incorporate in their match sets for their tag team matches.
They do incorporate that, and it works to their advantage, I think. It's not something that's seen a lot in this era of wrestling, but it works out. And, both them and the Sea Stars put on a great matchup together as, both are great tag teams.
Absolutely, Versace. And but it wasn't enough for the married couple, despite their chemistry in real life, too, as the Sea Stars pick up a win.
Of course. I mean, at the end of the day, the Sea Stars are one of the best tag teams out there. They were also to AEW and back, and I think that's what made this such a, caliber match. But, yes, Sea Stars with the victory. Congratulations, to Ashley Box and Tell Me Exo on an outstanding matchup. And everybody that was involved in that. It was just one of my favorite tag team matches of the night. Really was. Let's move on now to Sable. Whoa.
All right, so the next one is actually 2 matches in a row, one official, one not official, by the submission specialist, Matt Makowski, as
Weapon
Club
X
Cam came in to try to get all of us to join, but none of the White Eagle crowd was having it.
No, I don't think Club Cam is very much invited to the White Eagle. He was not received very well. And Matt Makowski made sure that it didn't go on for too long. He came out pretty quick and shut him up.
As Sydney Valabella announced, it was probably the quickest match in Beyond history.
I don't know. It's a toss-up right now. It's either between that match there or the BC Dub match that had Josh Briggs come in and just spare the guy and pin.
Spare Colin Delaney and pinned.
I don't know which match was faster. I might have to ask Drew at the end of this which match lasted longer. But I will have to say this. Matt Makowski shut it up Club Cam once and for all, or at least for a little bit, until his other opponent with a very large mouth
and a lover of AirPods, the king of pods himself, Richard Halliday.
Most marketable. He's a consumer specialist. He'll tell you what you should be buying. Tremendous athlete. If you're a fan of MJF, you'll be a fan of him instantaneously. Very similar style, but also brings his own, flair and glare to the wrestling world. Something, again, that you don't see every day. I love his gimmick. And, in the ring, he's a technician. He knows what he's doing. So is in his opponent, though, Matt Makowski, one of the best technical wrestlers in the world. The world. I'm not talking about just, New England, United States. In the world, you can put up against anybody. He is one of the best technical wrestlers.
You can tell he's a limb destroyer, too, because Richard Halliday was whining most of his match.
Oh, he was going right after the limbs. And then that's how you have to take a man down. You go after the limbs, they can't use them. You take a man's arms away, he's done. Take a man's legs, he can't walk. Once you start working on limbs, it's very easy to get someone to tap.
Especially Mankowski, unlike other wrestlers, respond very well when getting suplex and DDT'd multiple times in one match by Halliday.
He's in shape. He knows how to rebound. He's Weapon X, for crying out loud. He's unstoppable, Matt Makowski.
Absolutely, but the match ended with him tapping out with the arm breaker to Halliday, which Halliday really was worried for his life with the arm. He cut a promo after saying, "You didn't tap me, you didn't pin me," so he doesn't think it counts to Mr. Most Marketable's eyes.
No, it doesn't. And maybe we see a rematch for this. We might.
Maybe submission moves will be banned.
Maybe that needs to be. I don't know.
Gotta make the airport god happy, right?
Yeah.
He's probably easier to please than his former tag team partner that's in AEW.
For sure. And as you've seen, he wasn't too happy after that match either. As Club Cam tried to, get him to join maybe forces, and he slapped him around.
Oh, I know it.
He was not happy after that. But, Matt Mikowski showing what he does best.
All right, are you ready to move on?
I am.
Aaron Rourke versus Solo Darling.
Aaron Rourke is just a character and a half. One of my favorite characters and a half, actually. Stunning entering the ring. I got some great photos of
Very
him.
frustrated that the fans won't bow to him.
The fans aren't. I don't think the fans appreciate him enough. He is a gifted wrestler. He is great in the ring. His promos are great. His ring presence is great.
And every time he faces someone in the ring, because he always insults their friends and family, it's no different. And the fans, it's no different because the first Beyond debut show, he faced Solo's partner, Willow Nightingale, wasn't able to make this card. They had to pull out against Alec Price. But anyways, this time he was facing the other half of the Bird and the Bee, is Solo Darling.
And, Solo Darling is a phenomenal wrestler. She's one of my favorite too on Beyond. She has such a charisma. Comes out, she has a little dog. She's just so good in ring now, and you could see the fans definitely behind her. They were so behind her in this match. To the point that, like you said, Rourke was just frustrated, I think, with everything that happened.
He's been a very frustrating guy since this pandemic started. And you can tell he's able to take it on the ring.
Really, he is. But like I said, he's not to be underestimated, though.
There was a lot of submissions and face busters that were geared towards Solo's way. And she was almost able to overcome them, but not quite, as Mr. Rourke got the victory right when he screwed her for a pin.
And I think, I don't think he screwed her. I think he got the pin and the win legitimately, in my opinion. I think, Solo gave it her best. Rourke was a little bit better. He wanted this victory, and he got it. He got it. He took it. I think he's going to have some problems, though, when, Willow comes back and...
Maybe he finds a partner to team up first, the Bird and the Bee.
He might have to. I think they're both going to be after him. He needs to find an ally, and an ally fast. Because if they both go after him, there is no chance in hell that Rourke will be able to stand the Bird and the Bee. But, like I said, let him find an ally. He's a very talented wrestler, and he did pick up that victory. What was next on this stunning card?
You got the Shook Crew and the Goat or Sheep, whatever you want to call it.
It is a goat. It is a goat, damn it.
Tom Brady's the GOAT, not them.
No, they are. They are one of my favorite tag teams. I say that about them all, but I mean it. The Shook Crew, tremendous, and again, another AEW back and forther.
Absolutely. Bobby Orlando and Bryce Donovan versus the newly fun team of the Goodfellas. No, not Robert De Niro, but you got the Man of Steel, Mike Verna, and his partner Rex Musarella.
I love this match for many reasons.
That was a phenomenal match.
I love the Shook Crew. They come out, usually sometimes with Max Callister there. They didn't have him that night, but they come out, they do their thing. They're very, very good.
Very charismatic.
They are. The fans might not like him, but they don't care. Bobby Orlando, I love his style. And he comes out, they got the goat.
They don't lack the self-confidence of their looks, that's for sure.
They don't lack any self-confidence to do anything. They just come out, they wrestle, they do their job with the greatest.
They had to, because they got embarrassed by Bear Country in the first Beyond show back from the pandemic.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but who wouldn't against Bear Country? But then, like you said, you had the Goodfellas coming out. The Italian music started to play. You had Mike Verna coming out.
Fist pumping all them fans.
He was happy to be back. They were happy to both be there. They had the Italian music playing. Like I said, as an Italian, I couldn't have loved that better. I'm a huge Mike Werner fan.
And he carried most of the match, basically, with the suplexes and pump handle slams of him. And the Shook Crew, with their convincing ways, were able to make this match very competitive and very long, which was awesome.
It was. I mean, I can say everybody, put in work on this show to make these matches great. There was no rush matches in this. They were all done, and they were all, competitive. And this was no different, and especially for a tag team match and a stacked, world of tag teams. We saw what Beyond did with their tournament of tomorrow and all of that, and the tag teams that were going to win. And we saw all that. So, to see, the Goodfellas and Shook Crew go head-to-head was a gift.
What really caused this victory to go the Shook Crew's way was the referee being able to distract Verna and Donovan from fighting, and it led to the other Shook Crew member hitting Musasela with a steel chair right outside the ring, causing it for the referee didn't even see that. It caused Donovan to roll up a pin and win it for the Shook Crew.
And, there's nothing wrong with that, okay? I'm going to tell you this. It's not, sometimes in wrestling, it's about the win, not how you win. You have to take it any which way you can. I know they would agree with me. I know Jesse the Body Ventura will agree with me. And a lot of other people will agree with me, that you take the win however you can get it. But yeah, Shook Crew took it. But I do want to see more of the Goodfellas, a lot more of the Goodfellas in Beyond and elsewhere if I can. They were fantastic.
They seemed to have a really good night to overcome until the man they called Slade came in and slammed one of them on the table right near our seats, Versace.
Well, Slade, since that first Beyond show, has had an issue with the Shook Crew and Callister. He's been after them, and, last time he brought Bear Country, this time he just came solo, and he, threw him right through the table, sending a strong message. He's not going to be fucked around with, he's after the Shook Crew. That is it. And Slade is a madman.
Absolutely. Are you ready to move on, Versace?
I sure am.
So you got the second to close main event, and a returning Kimberly versus the Russian Masha Slamovich.
I love me some Masha. She is a powerhouse.
And she loves to flip all of us off.
She does, but she is a powerhouse. She gives no shits. You want to talk about a badass. She's like a female Russian Stone Cold Steve Austin. She'll come out.
Or if Lana was tough.
And Lana has nothing on Masha Slamovich. Nothing at all. She would eat Lana up for dinner and spit her out. Masha is a real deal, Holyfield, toughest SOB, gives no fucks. And we saw that as she wrestled Kimberly. They gave a tremendous match,
And Kimberly is seen in Impact and many other promotions as a vegan wrestler across the country.
She's a tremendous athlete. I mean, this was a great, matchup between these two. I couldn't have picked probably a better one, opponent for either one of these women.
There were a lot of suplexes and top rope Irish pinfalls in this match, Versace, and a lot of the bitch slapping and everything in that match.
So much, and it's everything that you want out of a women's match. It was very aggressive, too. Both of these women gave it their all. You really, I can't say much more. They went out there and they really, like you said, as being the second to main event, they put on a show. And like I said, it's always a treat seeing Masha Slamovich wrestle. And Kimberly. Like you said, she's been all over the place.
Absolutely. And the real thing is, was the ending is when Kimberly offered her handshake to congratulate Masha. Masha was about to handshake her, or maybe not, and she kicked her and slammed her and flipped off her and all the fans. And what a heel turn that was.
Yeah, I mean, let's just face it. Don't trust Masha. She will destroy you in the end. And she just proved why you can't. I actually loved that scene. It's probably one of my favorite moments of the Beyond show. Next to what's coming up next.
Not only was it a great main event back in the pandemic, but also one of the greatest main events I've ever seen in an indie show.
I've ever seen in a wrestling show. Let's not shit each other here. I mean, I've watched every WrestleMania. I've watched every SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, down the line, New Japan. I have very rarely seen a match of this magnitude. You know, kudos. It was an IWTV-sponsored IWTV Championship match. Lee Moriarty, Tiger Style, you know, defending his title against Wheeler Yuta. I mean, two of the best in the world, going at it in a 1 hour time limit match that they used almost most of it to its advantage. They went almost the whole way.
And the crowd was so into it. It's like there was a full capacity of 600 there.
Yeah, the crowd was like when I went to WrestleMania this year at the main event. I mean,
we were all into it.
Everybody was just waiting as it, you know, we didn't know. It was going back and forth. The moves were incredible. The caliber of moves were incredible. Some of these, you know, submissions that we saw from Wheeler Yuta and you know, Moriarty that you wouldn't even know existed. They were targeting places of the body that you don't even know you have.
A lot of high flying into the seats, too.
It went everywhere that it could go. This was everything that a pro wrestling match is supposed to be. It shows you just how prestigious that IWTV title is, you know. You have people like Warhorse holding it. Chris Statlander, you know. All sorts of, you know, Orange Cassidy, all sorts of the individuals that have held on to this title, making it better and better and better. And Lee Moriarty has been no different with that, as the way he has held it and, you know, shows how much he can defend it. These guys just went at it for the full hour. You know, unless you watch the match, it's very hard to explain because you don't see this type of match all the time, Sable Wolf. You just don't. You could name any Raw, any SmackDown, any main pay-per-view in the last 20 years. I don't think you're going to be able to find a match of this caliber.
Especially with all the submissions that were used. Especially with all the backhanders.
You don't see this style of wrestling. You don't see people that can pull off this style of wrestling. It was just technically solid match.
They were able to carry themselves with the stamina for almost a full 60 minutes.
You don't see that. The only last time I've seen that was maybe at an AEW match.
With Pac versus Kenny Omega and an Iron.
Yeah, the Iron Man match. But you don't see that much often, especially with that amount of energy and drive in this match between these two competitors. And at the end, it was, you know, Wheeler Yuta taking the victory, and he is now our new IWTV champion. Congratulations, Yuta. You know,
and
well
hats off
deserved.
to Mr. Tiger Style, Lee Moriarty himself.
Oh, taking nothing away from you, defended that title with the best of them, but Wheeler Yuta just coming out on top a little bit better and showing you, you know, why that title is his and why he deserved it, and, you know, he does. And only big things for both of these guys after this match. I mean, this match just put both on the map if they weren't already there.
You know what? The fans were coming, tamping the Beyond Wing at the right waiting goal.
We all got up and started to tap the ring when that match ended, you know, and that's what Beyond is all about. They put on these great 5-star matches, 5-star shows that gets all the fans into it. Every time, and every time we go, we see these kind of matches. They always deliver, no matter what, no matter who you see. Whether it was back in the day with Orange Cassidy or, the Meat Man, or, you're seeing Josh Briggs, Anthony Green, whoever it is, and now it's, a new set of people. They are killing it beyond. They crush it. It's always a show. I recommend anybody that does not, that's never been to a Beyond show that can get to one, go to it. If you can't, go to IWTV, subscribe right now. Use code Beyond, show, it helps support them. Get onto IWTV, start watching Uncharted Territory, start watching their shows.
Every Americana, too, which I cannot wait till they reveal.
You will fall in love with this promotion and what they provide to the wrestling scene, and you just will fall in love. You will become a fan for life, and there's nothing like Beyond fans. There just isn't. With that being said, this has been one of the greatest events that I've been to. And I just can't wait to see what else Beyond has in store for us this year and the years to come as things are starting to get back to normal through the pandemic. Kudos to Beyond and Drew and everybody else that was there that put this match together and this card together, rather, and, really brought all the fans and everybody together for this.
Absolutely, and tune into them June 3rd for Project Dolphin. But before that, if you can, not sure if we'll be able to make it or not, check out their new Women's Revolution show on May 15th. We may not be able to go, but please check them out if you can.
And if it's on IWTV, we will definitely watch it and cover it. So definitely, though. But, check out their website. Follow them on social media. Subscribe to them on YouTube. Get IWTV. Do anything and everything you can do to watch Beyond Wrestling. You will not be sorry. I promise you that. Thank you very much for listening. Versace Stoner out.
Disable out.